back to me, built on meat and energy clean, don't you mean? Built on meat,
carnivores.
Energy
We're
clean.
a carnivores group. Come.
The biggest thing was really
It's not like one of those ones that you don't
the biggest thing was really
I was tired, bloated, fog out, losing myself. Back to me, built on meat and energy clean, don't you mean? Built on
With some
meat,
carnivores.
energy
We're a
clean.
carnivores group. Come.
the biggest thing was really
It's not like one of those ones that you don't
the biggest thing was really
I was tired, bloated, fog out, losing myself. Then I stopped and started with steak. I tried it all, green drinks, powders, plants, but nothing stuck, nothing healed until I stripped it all back to what's real. Meat, salt, water, truth, back to me, built on meat and energy clean. Back to me, built on meat and energy clean. Back to me, back to strong fire in my step, mind sharp, body calm. Back to me, energy clean, cravings gone, I feel seen. No blow, no crashes, no pills, just stay in stillness. I stopped chasing and started thriving. They said I needed fiber, they said fat was bad, but when I listened to them, I got worse. Now I listen to instinct, now I eat like I'm meant to. Back to me, back to real, built on me, now I heal. Back to me, salt and flame, I'm not broken, just reclaim.
How's the pemmican?
super good.
So Dave's Fuzzy D brought us some pemmican. That's something I've never tried before and I'm getting into. Thanks, Dave. And Dave also brought the caveman factor. Some roasted marrow bones. Are you kidding me? This is beautiful. I'm gonna have to give him a ribeye now.
And don't forget the pickled cow's tongue.
And pickled cow's tongue. Yeah, we're doing it.
How was the kangaroo, Dave?
It was good.
Else is sick and
fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps. No one cares if you only eat meat. Every single one of you have to identify by carnivore fucking Connie, carnivore Ken, whatever the fuck your name is, and you add carnivore to the end of it on your fucking bio is fucking weird. Weird. You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion. A religion. A meat religion. Okay? Like, what in the absolute meat fuck is this shit? Your fucking boards with your eggs and your cheese and your fucking butter and your dates. Who cares? You can't shit. Your fiber intake is fucking zero, and you think you're just fucking trudging through life getting all healthy. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares. Your meat fucking ass, your meat farts, your meat sweats. No one wants to fucking hear about it. Okay?
That's the stage. There we go. We are live. I'm just waiting for the boys to show up. I don't know where they are. But welcome into the Meat and Matter. To the Matter, we are here. Oh, here's Mark now. Popping in.
Guys. Sorry, guys.
That's all good, man. We decided to start the show a little bit early today. Just 5 minutes, just to warm up the algorithm. So you might have noticed something a little different today. We want to just reach out to everybody and say thanks for chiming in. Thanks for coming on. Already some comments. Lisa, thank you. We look forward to your comments and your support as well. All over the place. Please, everybody, support Byron Funk at Carnivore Beats on YouTube and TikTok. He's been so great with all the music for our show, and he does some good carnivore beats. Go to the gym, train it, meat fuel, fat backed, if you so to speak. We're just waiting for Peter. Mark, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, man.
We certainly do. We certainly do. I watched the whole thing yesterday, Tony. Well done.
Yeah, well, it's time to, like we've been talking about this for a while, and guys, this is a war. Like, make no mistake about it. And I mean, I've been trying to sugarcoat my way to being polite and nice for the last 4 years. Well,
it's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
It's obvious now that they're not pulling any punches here, and
No.
We'll get into it. We're just kind of waiting for Peter because I don't want to get too far into this before him. But it's unbelievable how many tactics they're pulling. I mean, I don't know if anybody in the comments wants to chime in on this. We're going to get into the Eat Lancet 2.0 and what actually that is, what it was, the first version of the Eat Lancet report, the second one that's coming out in October, and what it actually is all about. Because it's, we kind of know in the carnivore space, but it's actually, if you look between the lines, like I was saying on my little talk there, Mark, is like, it's way deeper than that. It's like they're coming after the household family, the right for every human being on this planet to eat a proper nourished diet. And it's scary stuff when you actually look what's going on.
Yes. I mean, at the end of the day, Tony, look who we're up against.
Mm-hmm.
Money always wins. Always.
Yeah.
And that's what we're up against at the moment, unfortunately. But we just have to keep going. I know we're a small fish in a big pond at the moment, but we just need to keep going, because I'm pretty sure we are changing the world. I can see it in the last 4 years. There's more carnivores now in the world than there was 4 years ago. 100%.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's but Mark, the one thing that I feel in my heart is carnivore isn't enough. Like, we need to rally people. People don't like, we're going to get into that. I've got the report that we can actually go through a little bit online. And this isn't the Eat Lancet report itself, but I don't know. Is everybody in the comments, have you guys seen how Sean Baker's been putting it out? Ken Berry's been getting blasted on the media, but there was a ranking of a hit list. I think, let me see, Mark, we'll just test this out to see if I can put it up here. Can you see that, Mark? Yeah,
I can. Yeah, you can see it perfectly.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna just scroll down this to get to the plate. Like, I would urge everybody to read the whole thing. It is mind blowing when you start figuring out their global speak. It's frightening. So
I'm after sending this report on to 10 people today. 10 people asked me for it today. Yeah, and I read it myself. I read the whole thing this morning when you sent it on to me.
Yeah. So here's the list. sorry guys, can everybody see that list? That's what we're dealing with here. So you've got obviously that's what my talk was yesterday was, if you look at the first 3 people on this list, we will get distracted by the carnivore thing. We're all carnivores. We the people that are watching here, but yet the problem is those 3 people. Nina Teicholz is not a carnivore. She's an investigative journalist. And why are those 3 people? And you may look like it's the most popular ones. Hey, Peter, sorry, we're getting into this, buddy. It may look like they're just the 3 most but that's not true, because Nina Teicholz is nowhere near as popular as Ken Berry and Sean Baker. The problem is they all have organizations that they've started or starting that counteracts the narrative. So Sean Baker has started Rivero Health. Why would that be number 1? Go figure, right? Ken Berry is the head of starting that new American Diabetes Society to go against the American Diabetes Association. And Nina Teicholz is figureheading the Nutrition Coalition that's directly going against the food guidelines. That's why they're number 1, 2, and 3. And it's frightening to see that they are just trying to give people an option, a different way of, it's not, we all know how we all, but that's the one thing that freaks me out, because Nina Teicholz, when I saw Nina Teicholz's name up there, I was like, uh-oh, this is way deeper than just meat, man. This is way deeper than meat. Peter, how you doing, man?
Hi. I'm not sure what we are looking at, but it just enlightened me.
Well, we're talking about this is the report, okay? This thing was about, I'll put these guys up too. They're Changing Markets organization. They wrote this report on basically the pushback of the people against the Eat Lancet report. I don't know if you're familiar with Eat Lancet. For everybody that doesn't know, I'll just give the summary of the Eat Lancet. The first edition was out in 2019. It was between the Eat Foundation and the Lancet Commission. We all know the Lancet is very much that whole caught up in the whole plant, medical system bullshit. So it was the actual reason for it was to propose the first scientifically defined, in parentheses, quote unquote, global reference diet that would be both healthy for humans and sustainable for the planet. Now, we all know where that kind of went. So there was a huge pushback, obviously, with all these people, obviously with our community, to say, like, this is bullshit. Like, the actual statistics of it, it was like red meat, 14 grams a day. That's about 1 bite of steak. You know what I mean? That it was completely plant-based heavy. Vegetables, 300 grams a day, fruit, 200 grams a day. So basically limit your red meat, poultry, fish, and eggs and dairy, and increase your plants. So there was a huge, obvious pushback from our people, our community. But this report here basically tries to insinuate that all those people, starting with Ken Berry, Sean Baker, and Nina Teicholz, were coordinating a counter narrative, basically without using the terror word, that they were calculated in their attack on the planet. So basically criticizing them for being that terror word, and how it's against the global planet agenda and the change. And it's clearly, the scariest part is that everything that they said they were doing, everything that they accused the list of doing, we all know they've done it themselves. We're talking about, corrupt conflict of interest in the data. Where's this data coming from? Organized attacks to slander, harass, and people. They basically, every single playbook that they've been doing, they've used against accusing we'll just say the ancestral people. It's absolutely frightening. So
now, I think that this is a good remark that Jonathan is making. I'm actually also happy to see that these things are being published, and so I don't know which side this is coming from, but I understand now what it's talking about,
Yeah.
and it's a good thing that at least people are starting to act against carnivore, in the sense that apparently we are getting some momentum now. And I also notice it in my comments. I get a lot of persistent people in my comments, and I think that's actually a good sign. So I'm seeing much more than just the carnivores in my comments.
So, but this is my problem. This is what I'm worried about, and I agree. This is great for us. Okay, this is great for the people that know this. But what this is doing, this is going to be next level, right versus left, blue versus red, liberals versus conservatives, Democrats, Republicans, blah, blah, blah. They are going to, with this release, so this is why, because the Eat Lancet 2.0 comes out. And firstly, I agree with all that stuff. Jonathan and Victoria, I'm seeing the comments. Yes, I hear you. The problem isn't us. The problem is the rest of the world. And if the rest of the world keeps on this narrative, they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you have exactly what happens. You have a Kamala Harris-Trump situation. This is not politics. They are politicizing this. They are accusing these people of being so far removed from reality, which in a sense we all know that the actual people that are doing this are. In the name of the planet, in the name of climate change, in the name of the World Economic Forum, you guys are listening to heretics and black folks. So we know that this, and they're scared of it, and they're terrified. But
just to give an example, in the Netherlands, it doesn't matter in terms of politics if it are leftist or rightist people. They all think more or less the same, that you should eat plants and limit meat intake.
Same here.
To the right, they'll allow a little bit more of meat because they are less concerned about the environmental aspect. But overall, I mean, the mix in politics, it becomes...
Sure, I see it all the time over here. Every time I switch on my TV channel, there's always somebody on the TV, a dietitian or a doctor or a nutritionist. Everybody just talking the same shite. There's nobody else talking about anything else. It's just the same information every single day. Every day, and every time I switch on my social media, the amount of videos that I'm tagged in every day, this nutritionist is saying this, nutritionist is saying that. And the thing is, like, you're trying to go up against these people, but when you do, the platform doesn't go viral. It doesn't go anywhere near as where it should be going. Like, this is the biggest frustration I have. Is like when I put these videos up and I'm going up against these people, why aren't my videos not being viewed to so many other people? That's what pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, it's and this is where I'm just like, I mean, I completely hear everybody's idea, and I agree. Like they're terrified because they know every single one. Do you guys know who Frank Mitloehner is? Mitloehner? He's very much a climate, like he's proven cows are good for the plants. Like he's one of those scientists that is actually if you want to fix climate change, you're going to have to use regenerative agriculture. He's one of those guys. And it's unbelievable how they're just accusing them of, and check this out. This is what is wild about this. In 2019, this marketing company started doing research, started doing a comparative, an analysis on who used the hashtags, 2 of them. Meat heals and say yes to meat. So they took like all the Twitter, all the stuff, all the hashtags, all the stuff, and they analyzed it, who used those tags the most. They compared them all, and then they accused all of them for conspiring together to try and put out the anti-world agenda. Wild. So we're all talking about this, like we got to keep doing the thing. Put hashtag meat heals on every single thing you do. Put hashtag yes to the number 2 meat on every single thing you do, and blow this out of the water, because they just tracked it to these popular ones. If we all start doing that, that's going to be a pretty big signal to tell them to back off. But that was what sort of scared me, and it's like this is going to get. I do hope it doesn't, but we're going to have to fight a little bit for what we believe in. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. That Eat Lancet 2.0 comes out on October 5th, I believe. And they've made some changes to it. And guess what? All the changes are supporting more equity and sustainability for the planet, not health for people. It's unbelievable. So, I mean, I don't know obviously what they're reporting on, but I can tell you it's going to be the same. And it's going to get nasty. And this is just a warning. So I don't know. It's one of those things that our world is blown. It's mind blowing. And I mean, Mark, if you read the whole thing, like, did you get a sense of how they were they were using word salad to accuse and
all I was doing, Tony, when I kept on reading, was just getting angry. The more I kept on reading, I was just getting angry. And then when I saw your video this morning, I was like, okay, I need to watch this as well. So it took me about an hour to read it all. But every time I read it, I was just getting really, really angry.
Yeah, and you can see it's not just the carnivores. Like Jason Fung, like I mean, he was one of the first people that I read the obesity code, and he's sort of really, really kicked off my keto. Actually, Mina Teicholz with the Big Fat Surprise and Jason Fung with the obesity code were the two probably catalysts in my low carb switching my mindset. I have never heard him say anything that was, let alone calculated, malicious, or coordinated. He doesn't even really ambassador meat. He just really about fasting and trying to get yourself in losing fat.
Yeah, most of those people, I'm not sure. Probably they are carnivores, most of them, but they don't talk about it. They usually just advocate low carb diets, keto diets. You see most of them on the low carb Down Under conference series and those things. Yeah. They are very nuanced also in their presentation. So so apparently it's really something that a sort of stigma they try to put on these people.
Yeah. No doubt.
But the way I see it is, I know from people that are coming into my inbox, you can clearly see that there are a lot of people asking questions.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Like I get regular people coming onto my Instagram, and these people I've never met in my life. And they're just asking questions. They're just asking those questions because they're not being given the answers that they're looking for. And that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. We just want to ask people asking those questions. That's all we want.
And I mean, it's awareness, and it's doing shows like this, having conversations like this, like getting together like this to bring people in to show a different perspective. And I mean, it's so important. And I'm just going to sum it up. Like, we can move on to, I know we want to get into a lot of the other nonsense that's going on in the world today, but I'm going to sum it up here. I'm just going to bring it back onto the stage here. Hopefully this is the conclusion. Okay. This is what the document says. And this is the conclusion. I'm just going to read the first few lines and you will see exactly where this goes. I'm going to save you a lot of time. This 68-page thing. The pushback against the Eat Lancet report in 2019 is considered the first major outbreak of mis and disinformation, targeting food systems, transformation, and the science supporting it. Our research into the social media backlash shows that it was not an organic phenomenon, but the result of a coordinated network of misinfluencers. So right there, boys, you know what? We know right away what that means. I mean, that is exactly... accuse the other guy of doing the thing you're doing and smoke and mirrors bullshit, right? So, and that was, but it was interesting to read that. I hope you get a chance to read it, Peter, because I mean, it's interesting to see their tactics, and they expose themselves. You can see from because they're talking about all these guys with conflicts of interest in the meat industry. Like, we'll say, for instance, I'm not going to say that, but Ken Berry's tied to the meat industry. He's getting paid by, in my opinion, from what I've seen, they're supporting ranchers. Like, they're supporting like small ranchers. Sean Baker was a big proponent of going out to his ranch and trying all these different beefs. And yes, he has to have Rivero the business. He's gone public. He's explained every step. The one thing that Sean Baker's Rivero is transparent. He's told everybody. He's had to ask for investment publicly. He's been completely transparent about what his ties to Rivero is, and they accuse him of being, shady with conflicts of interest. But it's they call all these people out. They call them all out and they say how they all have these ties, and it was coordinated by Big Beef. Big Beef is paying these people, and they're just, you look at Bart Kay's done that conflict of interest list on a bunch of his videos where it's just, it's 5 minutes long with all these plant-based shills. Unbelievable.
Mm.
So, okay, let's get into some comments. And we're going to get into Tylenol as well, because I think, Mark, you wanted to talk about that, the stuff that's going on with Tylenol. And, it kind of ties into the same stuff. I mean, we're all like, to not be able to talk about this, that's what scares me. Is like, I've seen the pushback on the Tylenol thing about just being awareness. This is even segueing into our talk today about this Eat Lancet stuff. All these people are just aware of something and just wanted to speak their minds. They didn't coordinate an attack against you, your planet, your family, your history, your culture, your religion. That's exactly what the World Economic Forum, the WHO, and these big food corporations are doing. Sad.
It is, because that's the reason why I wanted to speak about it, because like, this is the thing about it, like all these drug companies, they're just pushing this on people, and people are absolutely brainwashed and thinking that this is going to be your lifesaver when you're in trouble, and we can't tolerate this anymore. There has to be a pushback. There really has, and I don't give a shite what these people say. We should be allowed to voice our opinion. I mean, well, I think Byron mentioned it earlier. Like, freedom of speech has been is slowly evaporating big time, and like, I've had enough of it. I'm not being shut down anymore. I have an opinion as well, and at the end of the day, you can listen to my opinion. If you agree with it, great. If you don't, then that's fine. I have no problems with that. But we should be allowed to voice our opinion on certain topics.
And okay, this is a good way before too far to the title thing. It's, boys, what's misinformation to you? Because misinformation to me, Peter, if someone says, I want to get your take on this, Peter. Type 1 diabetic, insulin under control, probably better than the diabetes whoever in your life has been trying to teach you or tell you or you learn from. You come out online, you say your piece, you say your story, you're misinformation.
Yeah, most of the times we're talking about experience, and if it starts to be a problem just to talk about experience, then we're touching on freedom of speech. I mean, of course, there is like true misinformation. If I am going to say that type 1 diabetics don't need insulin because you can cure it with some miracle medicine or so, then we're obviously talking about misinformation. Or in cases of cancer treatment, you have to be careful with what you are saying, and be careful with giving the illusion of the idea of giving actual medical advice to individuals. That's the main problem on social media, and they are just exploiting this thing to suppress opinions and suppress talking about experience. Because if you talk about this Tylenol thing, I mean, so I don't know the details about it right now, but I mean, it's probably not the most harmful medicine, but there are side effects. And if you look at a leaflet, you'll find a lot of side effects. And if you're going to suppress people talking about experiences, you're basically going to prevent people telling about side effects. I mean, that's also how we have to collect information about medicine, because most of them are tested for maybe 1 or 2 years or so. I mean, within, I don't know the exact numbers, but probably within 5 years or so, you can bring a medicine on the market. And there are institutions where you can register side effects, report side effects. But if you're not allowed to talk about it, then it's going to be difficult, because then only if you have like very severe side effects that you will report to your doctor maybe. And then if it's recognized by the doctor and so on, then it will be reported. So we will be missing out on a lot of information about it. And yeah, of course, I mean, we have to be careful with fear mongering, and that I mean, we have to carefully look at those reports. But yeah.
But okay, here's the problem though with that I have with this side of things is like Mark says something, his experience, his opinion. Who calls it misinformation? Who calls it? Who decides? Who decides the fine line? Do we have to put every single comment on trial? Do we have to put every single expression on trial to deem it? Who's the governing body now? Are you fucking stupid? And are you going to just listen to people and not do your own due diligence? That's basically putting the onus on you. You know what? Everything's allowed to be said. Use your own intelligence to figure it out if it's something you want to pay attention to or listen to. I don't need for people to tell me what is misinformation or disinformation. I don't need people to tell me what is hate speech. I don't agree with it. I don't think anybody that hates anybody should be hating publicly. But I am not. If we have to allow free speech, we have to allow free speech.
100%.
And once we put on these and I mean, this is where the social media thing gets muddy too. Like we got certain parameters on Instagram, certain parameters on TikTok, certain parameters on YouTube. Can't say this on this, and this is, and it's ridiculous because in my opinion, if we were transparent with our information, with drugs and side effects and everything, then you present the information and you decide. You have the choice. Right now, this Tylenol thing, I believe what I've heard, I've been sort of paying attention, is when a child gets vaccinated, the doctors prescribe Tylenol to go inside with the vaccination. That has led to possible serious problems. Okay. So why can't that be how come does anybody here, does anybody in the comments have a problem with, let's address that and see, like they're not saying is or isn't, there's just, and if Tylenol's a problem, can't we talk about it? You know, I don't know.
I'm after sending you guys a video of something that I seen during the week. Can we put that up? Is there any way we can put that up right now?
No,
I put it up on Instagram.
Instagram?
I sent it to you on Instagram. It was a video that I put up during the week. This got unbelievable. I got like a lot of likes off this. This was proven. This went viral all over the world. Is there any way we can put this up?
Can you send me the video on WhatsApp? Because I can't get into Instagram right now because we're live on Instagram. So
give me 1 second. I'll send it to
you.
you.
Well, in the meantime, so I didn't follow this Tylenol story in detail, but like you describe it right now, it sounds like you'll get the vaccination and you're using Tylenol or paracetamol to suppress probably the fever or the inflammation, right?
It's actually, I believe Tylenol is, I don't know if it's paracetamol, but it's acetaminophen is the main ingredient in Tylenol. So is that, and they're using it as a, like, you know, the child Tylenol or whatever. So when they get vaccinated, they put them on a course of Tylenol right after.
Yeah. So what are you doing? You're suppressing fever or inflammation, right? Or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, you would think that it would be to suppress any. It's like I would say it's more like a prevention of pain. Like just in case you're in pain, you use it. But what they're finding, go figure. Okay, 1 second, Mark. I've
sent it to you now. If you can, Tony, that would be great.
Yeah, but I find it interesting because a lot of videos are appearing on YouTube recently about inflammation not being the root cause of things. The inflammation is necessary. I mean, it makes sense, of course. It's just a mechanism in our body, and it serves a purpose. I mean, people like Eddie Koki are talking about it. I think Nick Norwitz as well, and so. Maybe also using these type of painkillers, suppressing fever. I never believed in suppressing fever anyway.
Well, no, exactly.
They can cause these problems as well. And so that's a reason also to take these reports seriously and look at what's happening. But they interpret it probably like people saying like Tylenol is just, I don't know, toxic or whatever. I mean, there are situations where you might use it, maybe, but the nuance gets totally thrown away if you cannot discuss it like this.
We got that. Sorry, Peter. Let me do that. I just loaded it. But Peter, you're right, and this is the thing about you know, and Victoria just mentioned too. Dr. Kendrick said pain healing. Yes, inflammation. Do you really want to disrupt the inflammatory process by cutting it off and connecting it to your brain when it's a healing thing? So if you're actually just putting a Band-Aid on something to get through the symptoms, there may be a place for it. But if they're actually using it as a treatment to suppress a fever, to suppress pain, to suppress inflammation, is that a good thing? Now,
and just one more thing about this paracetamol. I don't know about it in the US, but if you buy it in the Netherlands, it probably contains like 50% caffeine or so. So caffeine is also an important ingredient.
Yeah, and now I'm not sure about what the specifics are about the problems they have with Tylenol, but I don't know if it's actually the brand name Tylenol, if it's the acetaminophen. I've heard a lot of different things, different people, and as soon as it comes out in the mainstream, you notice how there's like this utter chaos about accusations and shut up, you're stupid, this is dumb, this is dumb. Then they confuse you with a whole bunch of things, and the issue was, is it safe to give your children this thing? Simple. But then all of a sudden we're talking, and that's where, you know, I think it's by design, obviously. So I don't know if it's actually Tylenol or what's in the Tylenol or the fact that they give it to children or Tylenol in general. And I'm like, Mark, I've been taking a Tylenol or anything for 4 years. So I think that's the best thing, you know, like that's probably the best course of action. But, you know, I'm not a child, and I'm not in the medical system, if you will. And I don't know. Yeah, I think
for what I understand, there are some very specific situations during pregnancy that you might actually reduce the risk of certain complications, and that the benefit is larger than the risk. But aside of that, I see a lot of people taking this stuff daily, or if you have a small headache at work, you'll go to the reception and ask for Tylenol. I never did that.
Well, I mean, you got bang on, Peter. I think we take those things for granted. Like everybody got something, a couple of bottles, aspirin, Advil, and Tylenol in their medicine cabinet at all times. And then you include these are like the lifestyle medications before the lifestyle medications, right? Then you include Robax, and then you include some kind of antacid. All those things that we have in our medicine cabinets lead to lifestyle medication problems, in my opinion. All right, Mark, you want to yeah, I think that makes sense, Byron, for pregnant women.
Yeah, I think so.
And just a little side note for everybody that doesn't realize this: if you go to the hospital reported with a Tylenol overdose or your Tylenol problems, they put you on N-acetylcysteine. They use an amino acid, and they use NAC, and it's not a coincidence that during COVID they tried to not make that NAC available. Interesting stuff. So let's talk. And NAC is like, you want to talk about inflammation. It's one of the precursors to glutathione in your body. So very important liver factor. Mark, let's get into your video up right now, and we will see here. Let's go. Oh my Lord, Mark, what are you doing to us?
I'm not listening to y'all anymore. I'm not listening to you. He's telling people that, they shouldn't be taking Tylenol unless they have a high fever. Dude, you're not a doctor. No studies have shown that Tylenol is directly causing autism.
Here you go, a study by Harvard. Using acetaminophen during pregnancy may increase children's autism and ADHD risk. And this one from Tylenol themselves. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant.
And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because those right in your face, you stupid. Oh my God.
And you see what she said after.
And that's what I'm saying. Do you see how quick they just shut it off? They shut it off straight away. It was like, okay, we're not discussing this anymore.
That was brilliant. I mean,
that's what
that
really
is
annoyed me is
brilliant.
they shut it off. They shut it off.
But it
big
was
time.
just shut off, and then she didn't say anything. Then
No, but and I watched that. I watched that live when they came back on. He was removed. He wasn't
Just
allowed back
moving
on.
on. Yeah, ghosted him.
Moved back on. Yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy.
Oh my god. Yeah, you just had to cue the tumbleweeds and crickets there, right? Like the and then crickets. Choop, 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 choop. Just unbelievable.
Just follow
And you
the
know
science. Just follow the science. That's all you need to do.
You know what's there's so many problems with that. Like especially with those, I've seen those ladies like attack people and just like they're like, you know, hornets swarming. And then when someone tries to defend themselves, they always just go back onto like personal slander. And you know what? I don't know about this Tylenol thing. It's been around a long time. Someone mentioned in the comments, it's autism was here before Tylenol made the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but
yeah, sure.
Okay, sure, but not to the extent that it's happening now. I mean,
Exactly. That's what I said in the video. I said at the end of the day, if you're going to tell me the rates back, let's say when autism was diagnosed, I was told that autism was diagnosed in the 1940s. Okay, I want to see the rates from the 1940s to the 70s, and then I want to see the rates from the 70s to what it is right now.
Here's a frightening stat that I've heard. Don't quote me on it. I'm paraphrasing it, but it's somewhere along these lines. And if this doesn't scare the living shit out of everybody, and for not the reasons of autism, for the reasons of what happens to our species, by the year 2035, 1 out of every 5 children will have autism or be on the spectrum to not be able to take care of somebody. What does that mean? What do? We take care of our kids, our infants, our kids, and our elders. That's the deal. That's the human deal. We all know this. Yeah. The way we're going with the infertility rates, and this is a changing statistic, by the way. Where we're going with low testosterone, infertility in women, hormonal issues, and then the autism problem, we have an extinction event before 2050. Everybody's talking about the Great Reset is coming. It's fucking here. Like if you look at these statistics, you are going to be blown away. 1, you can't get pregnant without them. Guys, you can't get a girl pregnant without them. You need them. Then your children. What happens when your children grow up and can't take care of you? This is the problem. And if you look at all those stats, it's absolutely frightening. And it's happening. And it ain't the fucking Tylenol. I mean, I'm sure it's probably a valid point. Like, let's think about this shit. But, this is a problem. Autism was before Tylenol, yes. Now, there is definitely something that's...
I would even question... Oh, yeah, go ahead, Mark.
No, go ahead, Pierre, sorry.
Well, yeah, I would just even question the vaccines. I mean, it may also be a factor, but the main contributor to autism, I mean, it started probably in the 60s or 70s or so, is the diet. The huge amounts of sugar and carbohydrates.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. In the last 50 years, has our food system changed? Damn right it has. Damn right it has. Yeah. And so why are we not looking at this? And I know there was a guy on YouTube that actually spoke about this. He spoke on Sean Baker's podcast. I can't remember his name, but he spoke about this, about the genetic thing and about like mothers could be at fault here. And it makes perfect sense because when you look at what we've been feeding ourselves in the last 50 years, the amount of chemicals that are in our food, you know what I mean? Something has to add up somewhere.
Well, and this thing actually makes clear that it aren't the vaccines, at least not primarily, because we have been giving vaccines also in the 60s and 70s.
Okay.
And it wasn't there yet. So it clearly is the diet. I mean, it's good, of course, to look at the effect of vaccines and medications, Tylenol, etc., etc. Yeah. But if that means that we are getting distracted and not focus on the actual problem, which no doubt is the food, so it serves no purpose.
What's really annoying me, because this was the pushback I was getting during the week, is that I was being told off everybody when I was having this conversation that medication has actually saved people in the last 50 years. Now, this to me, that's like, okay, I'm seeing people dying younger. It might be just me, but I'm seeing people that are dying very, very young in the last 50 years. Now, if you're telling me that medication is saving people, I'm sorry. I haven't seen it. I mean, heart disease is still the biggest killer in the world. It is the biggest killer in the world, and every single one of us are on a low-fat diet. Every one of us. So how do you add that up? Doesn't make any sense, guys. Honestly,
Well,
doesn't make sense.
I mean, if you just think about it there too, Mark. Like, I mean, we're all talking about this is what they want. They want us broken up. The easiest way to acknowledge this from a simple standpoint is start with nutrition. We start with what the body needs. That's something that we could hopefully control in some way. But Peter, you're right about the vaccines. But the problem is now, I think what they're arguing, especially RFK, it's not the vaccine, it's the adjuvant. Because it comes with something to cause an immune response. That something is either aluminum, mercury, or whatever they're using to cause that. So they're basically poisoning to cause the immune system to respond, which I think that is now there's, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's the same with RNA vaccines, right? That's also something totally different from what we did 50 years ago. But if you look at the response in time in terms of the development of diseases and conditions, it's lagging. No, I'm not saying it correctly. Anyway, it doesn't make sense to attribute it all to, for example, what happened in 2019 that sort of thing. I mean, they are important to consider.
But isn't it amazing that we were allowed to question so many stuff during COVID, but now we can't question this at all? It's like we're not allowed to question this. But when we went through COVID and it had so much control over us, we were able to question it no problem. But now we just can't. It's just a big pushback. It's just, you can't just question one thing and not question the other.
Yeah.
You just can't.
And once you start realizing that this is all great, you guys in the comments, I love hearing this stuff but in my opinion, okay, so let's start from the beginning. 10 years ago, you couldn't get pregnant. Your man was so low testosterone, he had to get testosterone replacement therapy. You had to go to a fertility clinic. You went for a assisted pregnancy. You got pregnant. You spent a whole bunch of money, but they're telling you to go on immune suppressants. So your immune system is down your whole pregnancy. You're monitoring all these things. They're giving you prenatal vitamins and all synthetic vitamins through the clinic. Now you have your pregnant, your birth. You birth the child. But you know what? It was premature because it was a little bit of a chaos. And I'm sorry I'm offending people. If I am, I apologize. But this is what's going on. Now you have a premature cesarean pregnant or conception. The child is on life support. You're battling seriously with your immune system. They're feeding you the hospital diet. Then you come out of this. The child is underdeveloped. Now it gets 60,000 vaccines that were never, like hepatitis B for a child, never needed in his life. Then the child develops autism. That should sound frightening. Develops autism.
100%, yeah.
Not honestly, is autistic. Develops autism. Where did that come from? Did that come from your life before? The birth canal? Did it come from the vaccines? Did it come from your shitty diet? And now your brain don't work because you're eating fucking Kellogg's cereal. Do you see what's going on here? Like this.
Well, let's name another one, and that is antibiotics. My son also got antibiotics. He was born so I don't remember, 4 weeks early or so. Not too far, but too early anyway. And well, just to be sure, they gave him antibiotics, and of course, it just messed up his gut, and you get problems with breastfeeding, with milk and digestion, and all these things. And it directly ties into what happens in your brain as well. I mean, he's doing fine, but just imagine, we're also giving small children, infants, we are giving them antibiotics just as a precaution.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And we've oversaid, like, now we add to that premature birth story I just talked about it. Now you're on antibiotics. You're stripped of all of your gut biome. You're not on breast milk. You're feeding from a formula because Bill Gates tells you it's okay. It's better, actually. What happens to your brain? Where are we at? And this is happening over and over and over again. They come at us because we're eating meat and feeling good. Ridiculous. And it's horrifying. I want to just pay attention to Jonathan. Jonathan made a good point here, actually. The whole Tylenol thing feels like another distraction. It does. But I think this is see, I don't know where to handle all this freedom of speech, Maha, all stuff. Like, we've had Christopher Brandlin on. We've talked to him about trying to make a difference, but we can't. I don't think they can do it all at one shot. I know RFK Jr. does not like vaccines. He has a very big problem with them. I think he's trying, could be, but I think he's trying to get wins, like accumulate wins to try and go for the bigger picture. That's my opinion. Love to know what you guys think about that. But I mean, I think we always have to tread very, very carefully. I mean, Marx, look at that. It's so quick.
I think the biggest benefit, even if they don't achieve much, is the fact that we are shaking up the system. I mean, you can even disagree with RFK or whatever, think that he doesn't know a lot about things or whatever, but at least he's shaking up the system.
Yeah. Well, exactly. We need to get disruptive. And I mean, you look at what we talked about at the beginning of the show, the Eat Lancet thing. They're trying to shake the system up too. They're trying to do it from the opposite.
I mean, everything is better. I mean, you could almost say it like that, right?
Everything. Rainbows and butterflies for everybody, right? Jesus. Oh man, I'm sorry. I know. Bam Ingo. I'm sorry, I butchered that too. But don't mention Bill Gates in his man. I know. I have a rule in I'm in Vancouver right now, and it's not even noon, and we have a rule not to mention Bill Gates in the morning. But sometimes it's pop it out. we get very angry, and it's pretty crazy. And you noticed how he hasn't been he's been slapped down with this whole Gavi funding thing. He hasn't been too vocal. I mean, obviously he still has his greedy little pockets everywhere, but oh man. So boys, what do we do about this? How do we help? We just keep screaming?
That's all we do, boys. That's all we do. I mean, you said at the start of the show, Tony, there's no more, you can't be no more Mr. Nice Guy anymore. You have to fight back. That's it. Simple as that. People are not going to like it. And to be honest with you, I don't give a shit. We just need to keep going. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there that are relying on us. There's a lot of people there. There's amazing doctors out there that are spreading this every single day on social media. And we just need to do the same. That's all we need to do. It's all about awareness. We're doing our part, and we just need to keep going.
No doubt. Peter, how's things, talk about this stuff in your countries, because I know we're from an international perspective. I'm in Canada, you being in Holland.
Well, yeah, what I see a lot happening is that there seem to be some almost organized attempts at silencing TikTok influencers. So commercial television and some, not necessarily government channels, but organized doctor channels, that sort of things. They make videos about the carnivore diet, or there was recently a TikTok creator talking about how he filtered his water. He is distilling his water, and he showed a cup of brown water and showed reports from the official water service, however you call it. So a very nuanced talk, and they show this person on national television for 30 seconds, and they are just presenting it like TikTok, conspiracy theorists, sort of. And what always happens is that they never talk about the content. So they are actually missing, even for their own purposes, they are missing one aspect, and that is if they would actually argue with the contents that we're talking about, at least then they would provide a convincing picture for their viewpoint.
Yeah.
But they are not doing it. So even the people that tend to believe them won't. Yeah. So in a way, it's good, actually, because they did it. Well, they didn't respond to a video of me, but I've seen another video on the carnivore diet, and I respond to it, and I get like 40,000 views and a lot of likes with a nuanced story. And if you look at their channels, they get like a few thousand and mostly skeptical comments below it. So in the end, it's good because they are just producing a lot of rubbish, short videos with like, is the carnivore diet good for you? No, you will be missing out on vitamins and blah, 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 blah. The usual stuff. You can just fill it in.
Yeah.
and it's easy to debunk.
Insert vitamin C here, right? Like, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, it's basically, you can produce a lot with ChatGPT nowadays, but these videos and these scripts you can literally produce with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I mean, also my videos, ChatGPT is almost as good to produce those videos as well. But you if you want to make good videos, you have to put some nuance in it. But with the general diet stories, the healthy diet, healthy vegetable stuff, and this has been researched and proven, all this usual talks, that's just AI.
You know, it's funny. I did that talk about like when I went away to the island on the ferry, and we were on the and I was like going through like what there was to eat in the cafeteria. It was a little ferry, mind you. It wasn't big, but still, I mean, it was all bullshit. Like besides vegetable, beef, barley soup, it was all sugar, carbs, and all this garbage. And I put out this video on TikTok, and some doctor was like, well, you just need to eat steel cut oats. Like, what the? Have you seen it? It was just funny. And then I just replied to him. I'm like, you know, what in God's name would they be doing at BC Ferry, putting steel cut oats, like loving their customers so much that they're anyway? And it had nothing to do with the sugar side. And then I ripped into about that. But it was like some people's comments about videos are just mind blowing, man. It's like I can imagine you, Mark, because like you get the, of course we all get the haters, but then you get the people that don't really pay attention. They just hear one and they kind of agree on some weird tangent that doesn't make a lick of sense to your channel. And it's like, wow. Someone was saying, "Ooh, I love oatmeal with maple syrup and butter." It's like, did you see my last 6,000 videos? Like, why are we doing this, man? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Mark, Ireland, I noticed Ivor Cummins was on that list.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
And he's been shifting away from the nutrition side of going deeper into the sort of the globalism side of things. And it's not a coincidence that he's on there too.
No.
It's funny. It's funny how that hashtag. Remember that hashtag, everybody, please. I mean, can we put it in the? I'll put it in the comments. Yes to meat, and let's push these back. He's. We're not allowed to put hashtags on comments. Sorry, I didn't realize that. We're new. But he's been like the Fat Emperor. If you know anything about his story, wow. He's been exposing these guys for a long time, and now, like, you know, to put him on the hit list to say that it's coordinated. Yeah, you know, the coordination Ivor Cummins had is he wrote a book with Jeffrey Gerber, Settle Down. You know why all these people talk together is because they go to conferences about this stuff. You know, it's like it's unbelievable how they're saying it's a coordinated attack on our planet and our sustainability. Like, what the hell does nutrition have to do with the climate? Cows will save us. I'm sure you both agree.
100%.
It's always a secondary argument anyway. I mean, food obviously is related to climate because, well, producing food on itself will have an impact on climate. I mean, however small it is or however big, but yeah, it should never be priority number one. Unhealthy people, and you'll be spending like I looked it up once, like healthcare takes about 5 to 10% of covers those global emissions. So try to heal people and get rid of chronic diseases and reduce that by 20 or 30%.
Yeah,
it's also going to reduce a lot of CO2.
I think it was in one of our first shows. We talked about like what would happen if the world went low carb carnivore for 2 weeks. The world, amazing. So
mental clarity and all the things. So
Peter, we haven't heard this for a while.
Yeah, he's Dutch.
What are you eating, buddy?
Oh, I didn't have any. I didn't prepare any pictures.
You gotta create theater of the mind right now.
Yeah, so what I've been eating. Recently, I actually went a little bit off track and started eating more dairy. And usually that goes all right.
More dairy than 100-mile bike ride drinking raw dairy? Like, how much dairy are you drinking?
Yeah. Well, mostly cheese is the problem. And I think usually I can get away with like half a liter of yogurt or that sort of things a day. But that's about the limit. Once I start to eat more, then I risk to introduce other foods like chocolate. And I mean, chocolate is still a difficult one. And I eat low carb chocolate still, but if you eat a bar of chocolate, it's still like 7 or 10 grams of sugar. So it's tricky. I also ate one today, but I am going back towards carnivore. I mean, I am carnivore because even if you eat this, it's still low carb. It's like I don't even reach the 20 grams of carbs per day right now. But what I notice with a lot of endurance exercise, what I did in summer, then you can actually eat more. So I'm not only talking about carbs, but also carbs you can eat more easily. And then when you stop endurance exercise, that's really a difficult thing, especially if you do it like, say, 10 hours per week. And you stop with that, you start to gain weight also on a carnivore diet. And especially if you still include things like dairy, it's very easy. And so what I should do when I stop the cycling season, when I end cycling season, I should go probably full lion diet or something like that to restrict myself and allow as much food as I want. But avoid all the carbs and insulin spikes. But it's really difficult. And I also didn't perfectly manage this time. And you see your insulin resistance go up. And the thing that I noticed now, that's also interesting, I want to make a video about that, is I don't think it's actually the insulin resistance going up so much. Because if I inject insulin, I still respond to it. But it's your liver producing more glucose during the day.
Bart Case says that all the time.
Yeah,
especially with diabetics, it's got nothing to do with insulin resistance.
Yeah, it's a very big confounder. Everybody talks about insulin sensitivity, also in type 1 diabetics, and that you should exercise, and of course you should do a little bit, but it's mostly like if you have a surplus of calories. So no matter if it's carbs or fats, or also on the carnivore diet, if I eat really more than I need after stopping cycling season, I'll have, who knows what, say a surplus of 500 or 1,000 calories a day. That will end up in my fat reserves and in my liver. My glycogen reserves will be more filled, and my liver just is happy to release more. And so it will release a certain amount of glucose per hour more than usual. And you have to inject more insulin, but it's more insulin, so you're still equally sensitive to it.
Exactly.
Well, I think there's a lot of nuance to it, and I mean, I in my opinion, like Bart Case, I think brilliant and bang on, but a lot of people that don't really know about it, they need something to relate to, and I think insulin resistance, people just relate to it. They can understand what it is, but I mean, obviously, there's way more to it than just,
Yeah, I mean, it's like talking about calories. I mean, it still makes sense in a way, right? It's a sort of currency that you can use to explain how much you're eating.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's more nuanced, the story.
Yeah.
So boys, well, thanks for telling us what you eat, Peter. We always.
I didn't tell actually. I also made meatballs with beef testicle this weekend.
Hey!
Because I don't like cooked beef testicle. I tried it once. It's a bit of I don't know the term in English, but it has a bad smell.
Okay.
But raw, it's actually fine, and I incorporated it in ground meat.
Oh yeah.
So you get these sort of slightly yellowish, grayish spickles in the meat.
Yeah.
And you hardly notice it actually. It just adds a subtle thing to it.
Right on.
And a lot of zinc and selenium.
The last time I ate lamb balls, I brined them. So they were soaking in salt water for a bit. It really took the taste sort of to another level. So it was good.
Yeah.
But I feel you. Sometimes balls have a interesting.
I'm going to do it more.
You guys are nuts. Yeah. No pun intended. Well, boys, I think that's a good time to wind this one up. You guys, always a pleasure coming here. We were supposed to have Fleur and Aaliyah on today, but we kind of pushed it just because we wanted to talk about this stuff. They agreed to come on. We're going to come on in the next couple of weeks where we're going to really focus on women's hormones. I think these are very serious things. We have Pumi from the Carnivore Cutie as well, and we can We will be pushing those out. We've got great interviews coming up. Peter, we got to get a hold of Duncan Smart. You and him will have a lot to talk about cycling. My interview with him actually is coming out very soon. We want to thank each and every one of you for questions, comments, and hanging out with us. We do appreciate your support. Let us know what you think. We're kind of up in arms about what we should do about the show intro, about what we should do about how long the show, because we're all new. We're trying to get the most effective thing going on. So any criticisms help. We all obviously want you to be supporting Byron Funk at Carnivore Beats. Please go to his YouTube channel, check his stuff out. I put a soundtrack on the slideshow today for our Carnivore meetup. Once again, thanks to Carnivore-ish group. And everybody loved it, Byron. They loved the music. They wanted to do it, so you might see a couple of subscriptions out of that. Also, Mark is involved. Peter and I superficially involved with the carnivore community worldwide. They have started their YouTube channel. We need to unite. Brian, Selena, Jenny, Jonathan, you guys are amazing, and we're all in support of each other. We want to keep up the good work on you guys having great conversations and getting into the nasty stuff, which what we're doing. So it's really cool. Please support them. Mark, where do people find you?
Go and find me on social media, guys, at fitnessbeyondtime01. And if you want to reach out to me, send me an email at nsmark93@gmail.com.
Perfecto. Peter?
I'm known as the Dutch Carnivore on all platforms, and I'm working on also focusing a little bit more on type 2 diabetes. So maybe I have to give it some form yet. Probably another channel on more focused on type 1 diabetes, because that's, I think, where my specialty is.
Awesome. Right on, man. Yeah, you're doing you're killing it on TikTok, buddy. I love it. Good.
Yeah. Amazing.
Nice to see. And if you're interested in getting a hold of me, working with me, finding me, you can find me on TonyStewartCoaching.com. Also on Instagram, where my true ranting personality comes out at Tony_Food for Thought. And of course, here every week, we are the Meat of the Matter podcast. We are live every Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and continental Europe. That is Mark. He is Peter. I am Tony. Thank you all for being here. We will see you next week. Who knows what's going to happen? Keep up the good work, everybody. Love ya.
Bye.
Bye.